I stayed in bed for 3 straight days. Didn't eat, didn't shower, barely moved. I wasn't asleep, but I wasn't awake either. I just existed. Curled up under the covers, not because I was resting, but because I couldn't face the day. My phone buzzed, I ignored it. The sunlight changed angles. I noticed but didn't care. I told myself I was taking a break, that I deserved to shut down. But that was a lie. I wasn't recharging, I was disappearing. Slowly, silently. If your bed feels like the only place in the world where you can breathe, if the thought of getting up feels like climbing Everest barefoot, this video is for you. You're not lazy. You're not broken. You're exhausted in a way sleep can't fix. On TikTok, it's called bed rotting. Sounds kind of funny, right? It's been framed as self-care, hoodies, snacks, Netflix marathons. But for many of us, it's not self-care. It's the first warning sign that something deeper is unraveling. The first day, it feels like relief. The second, you lose track of time. By day 3, you forget what it's like to feel motivated. You scroll, stare at the ceiling, maybe cry a little, but mostly you just go numb. Like the world has faded to grayscale. I used to think I was just tired. But here's what no one told me. The longer you stay in bed, the harder it becomes to get out. The bed turns from a soft haven to a silent trap. And one day, you realize you're afraid of your own life. I'm not here to shame you. I've been there, stuck in that quiet loop of guilt and comfort. That's why I made this video. Because someone needs to talk about what bed rotting really does to your brain and how to break free. So, if you've ever whispered, just 5 more minutes, and lost an entire day, stay with me. What comes next might change how you see your mind and your bed forever. When I finally stood up after those 3 days, something felt off. I couldn't think straight. Even brushing my teeth felt overwhelming. It was like my brain had lost its grip. Turns out, it wasn't just in my head. It was my head. More specifically, my prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for decision-making, motivation, and self-control. It had gone quiet. Scientists call it cognitive control. It's like your mental muscle for making choices, especially hard ones. And here's the scary part. If you don't use it, you start to lose it. Just like a real muscle. So when you lie in bed all day, avoiding life, your cognitive control weakens, which makes it even harder to get up tomorrow and the next day. And suddenly making any decision feels exhausting. That's why getting out of bed to brush your teeth, drink water, or even check emails can feel like a mountain. It's not drama, it's brain chemistry. Your motivation system is in low power mode. The worst part? You know what you need to do. You want to try, but you just don't. And then comes the guilt, the shame. You beat yourself up for being lazy, but all that does is trap you deeper. The good news? Just like a muscle, cognitive control can grow again. Not overnight, but with small, consistent effort. Standing up, stretching, opening a window, you're rebuilding your brain. In the next section, I'll show you exactly how to do that, even if you have zero motivation right now. Stay with me, you're closer than you think. On the 4th morning, I woke up at 2:17 p.m. The room smelled like old air. I hadn't opened a window in days. My stomach growled, but I ignored it. Again, my body was begging for something, anything. But my mind just didn't care. I remember sitting at the edge of my bed, hands pressed to my face. The silence was loud. My chest felt tight. Not panic, just pressure. Like my emotions were backed up in a pipe, ready to burst. Then, my phone buzzed. A simple text from a friend. "Hey, you okay? Haven't heard from you." Just 8 words. But something cracked. Not because of what they said, but because I realized no one knew what I was going through, not even me. I cried. For the first time in months, I cried without knowing exactly why. I wasn't sad, I wasn't angry, I was just full of numbness, of shame, of confusion. The tears weren't from pain, they were from release. And then I did something strange. I stood up, just stood, for no reason. My legs wobbled, my head spun, but I didn't sit back down. I walked to the window and opened it. Sunlight hit my face, and I felt it. The weight didn't leave, but it shifted. That tiny act, opening the window, wasn't heroic. It didn't fix me. But it was proof that I still had some control. That even in the fog, some part of me wanted to live. Not just survive. People talk about big breakthroughs, but mine was small, insignificant maybe, to anyone else. But for me, that window became a door. Not to escape, but to return. To myself. In the next part, I'll share the exact steps I took after that day. The ones that helped me slowly rebuild a life outside the blanket. Trust me, if I can stand up, so can you. After I opened that window, I didn't suddenly become motivated. I didn't go for a run or clean my apartment. In fact, I just sat by the light for a while doing nothing. But that nothing felt different. It felt like permission. The next morning, I didn't reach for my phone. I reached for a glass of water. I still felt heavy, foggy, but I drank it. One small win. One signal to my brain. We're trying. Here's what I learned from therapists later. You don't need motivation to act. You need structure. Start with something so small it feels silly. Brushing your teeth, changing your shirt, sitting on the edge of the bed for 2 minutes. Every time you follow through on a tiny action, you send a message to your brain. I still have control. And that reactivates the prefrontal cortex, the part that bed rotting quietly dims. I also told one friend, not everything, just enough. I asked them to check in once a day, nothing big, just a "you got up" text. That tiny connection reminded me, I wasn't in this alone. I didn't force myself to be productive. That would have made me crash again. Instead, I focused on consistency over intensity. Even on bad days, I tried to do one thing, no matter how small. You don't have to feel strong to start. You don't even need to believe in yourself yet. You just need one tiny action. Today, maybe it's finishing this video. And if that's all you do, you've already started. I'll be real with you. Bed rotting feels good at first. That quiet comfort, the soft light, the feeling of not having to perform for anyone. It feels safe. Like you finally stopped fighting. But here's the trap. The more you let yourself sink in, the heavier it gets. That safety? It starts turning into avoidance. The silence becomes pressure. The stillness becomes a cage. In psychology, it's called emotional avoidance, the act of trying to dodge painful thoughts or feelings. And while it works in the short term, it almost always backfires. Because avoidance doesn't erase emotion, it buries it. And buried emotions don't disappear. They grow, they fester, they wait. So when you finally do try to re-engage with life, bam, everything hits at once. Harder, louder, scarier. That's why bed rotting often leads to panic, guilt, or breakdowns out of nowhere. Your brain was never off. It was just stockpiling stress, like a time bomb with no countdown. I remember one day, I'd been in bed all weekend. Monday morning came and I had to check my emails. The moment I saw the inbox, I panicked. My heart raced. My hands shook. It felt like I was drowning in pixels. That's when I realized bed rotting wasn't protecting me. It was hiding me from life, from pain, from myself. And the only way to heal was to face it. Not all at once, but piece by piece. These days, I still have moments. Days when I want to stay under the blanket and disappear again. But the difference now? I recognize the feeling. I don't fight it. I sit with it, and then I move through it. Healing isn't about never having bad days. It's about knowing they don't define you. You can feel stuck and still be growing. You can be soft and still be strong. If you're watching this and you're still lying in bed, I want you to hear this. Your worth is not tied to your productivity. You're not behind. You're not late. You're human. And humans struggle. It's okay to start from wherever you are. So here's something small you can do right now. Take a deep breath. Let your shoulders drop, wiggle your toes, feel your body again. That's the first reconnection. That's a win. Progress is quiet. It doesn't scream, it whispers. It looks like washing one dish, texting one friend, standing by a window for no reason. And it adds up. More than you think. I hope this video didn't just teach you something. I hope it gave you a sense of being seen, of not being alone. And if it did, stay. We're building something gentle here, for people like you. If this spoke to you, tell me in the comments. What's one thing you'll do today, just for yourself? Like this video if it helped. Share it if you think someone else might need it. And if you feel ready, subscribe. I'm not going anywhere. Neither should you.